Hello, Tibbies. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing fantastically fabulous. You can probably hear the outside world behind me, but that's your problem, not mine. And the second thing that I'm going to talk to you about is how I'm going to wrap all of this up. I was only able to take a week off of work, which is sad. I need months and months and months and months and months and months off work. I've been reading about this developer burnout, and some people, it takes them months, decades to recover. There was one guy, he got burnt out in the 80s, he's still recovering, and it's been 40 years later. There's another guy who got burnt out 2 years ago, he's still recovering from it. And I'm like, great, I have to go back to work in a week. So what we're going to do is we're just going to call upon the spirits and ask them to stop breaking matches. Okay, it's not cool. You're not even gonna light, are you? There we go. Anyways, so we're just lighting our little protection candle, and we're just lighting up. Oh. Give me some flame. There we go. So we don't have to fail at trying to light candles. Okay, so what we're doing today is a banishing spell. Super simple. Okay, so whatever it is that you work with, you want to set up kind of like a space for them to feel like they can be there, because they're going to be there at this space for a little while. Whatever it is, like whether it's spirits, in this case it's spirits, because I always work with the spirits when I'm doing banishing magics, okay? And we're not banishing anybody, you know? You don't always have to be banishing everybody. We're just blowing some sage around here, you know? You're like, sage and spirits, that sounds bad. Not always. Usually, yes, but not always. Anyways, trying to get this piece of sage to go out. Go out, out. Well, don't blow on it. Anyways, so this particular type of spell just requires some banishing water. You're like, what the fuck is banishing water? Well, it's this liquid that is comprised of rubbing alcohol as a base, so it's very flammable and very toxic, so be very careful with it. And then it has other things in it that are used for banishing, because I use the element of fire to banish things. So, because it's rubbing alcohol, we all know how flammable rubbing alcohol is. Your whole house can go up in flames, so be very, very, very careful. And you don't need a lot of this in your cauldron. And you can literally just pour it into your cauldron as your cauldron is, without putting anything else in there. You can put in some herbs if you'd like. You can put in some petitions of things that you want to banish. But at the end of the day, you're just going to put in a little bit of this black banishing water. And what I'm doing here is I'm just putting a little bit into the cauldron with nothing else in the cauldron, because what I'm doing is I want to banish these negative feelings of returning to work and replace them with feelings of wanting to return to work, because yesterday I was bored out of my mind. So to do this, all we do is we drop a match in and we watch the cauldron erupt into what I call a cauldron fire. Now, I don't put too much of this in there because the rubbing alcohol will burn away quickly, but what you want to do is just kind of use the flames and stare into the flames and just banish everything away. what I like to do is I like to use fire as a way to burn it away. Burn away whatever it is that I'm trying to burn away. Jesus. This is some, like, intense, okay? It's intense. You can usually feel the energy. You can feel it working because you can feel the thing that, whatever it is that you're trying to banish, it just dissipates from your mind, okay? Now, keep in mind, when you are banishing things from your mind, whatever they may be, whether they be insecurities, or they be fears, or they be whatever, you need to replace them with the opposite of that, okay? So if you have this, I don't know, let's say you have this fear that you're never going to find a man, right? So you'd use this type of spell to banish those negative thoughts from your mind, but you're also replacing them with things like, I'm beautiful, I have a man, men want me, I'm seeing somebody, right? Like, we're replacing them. Remember what we talked about in the process of manifestation? An opposite and equal reaction, as above, so below. So if you banish one set of thoughts from your mind, you need to replace them with another in order to train your subconscious to use that language or those words instead of what you were previously using. Right? So we're just thanking the spirits. You don't have to continuously put intentions in until the fire dies. You can. If you put petitions or anything in here with the fire, you want to make sure that it's all burnt away before the flames go out. I've had experiences in the past where when I put things into the fire and they don't always burn out, they don't get dealt with because the spirits can only do so much, okay? So this is just a very simple, very basic spell. All you need to get your hands on is some rubbing alcohol. Don't use any other kind of fire starter or anything like that in here. That's just really dangerous. Get your hands on some rubbing alcohol. You can buy it at Walmart, super cheap. And then to make it black, just crush up a coal and you've got it black. And then put in some like things like salt or other banishing things that help banish, okay? And the intention can be to banish negative spirits. You could burn a little bit in a cauldron like I have here, or you could banish negative thoughts like we just did, or, you know, there's many things. Banishing magic isn't just about, I want to banish this person, I want to banish this spirit, I want to banish this negative energy. It's also about, I want to banish this thing that I don't want in my life. In my case, it's these thoughts about not wanting to go back to work that I want to banish, and it's this negativity around going back to work that I want to banish and replace with positive thoughts. Because remember, we love our job. We just sometimes get really tired and really burnt out and really exhausted, and we just need that moment, you know, especially when you're the only software developer, you know, on this team. You built this product from scratch, and now it's like you're just tired, you're stressed out, and you can't see clearly. So we're just banishing the negativity away from us. Go away. And we're bringing in the positivity of what we want to replace it with. So in this case, we're getting rid of this, you know, negative process, negative thinking around my job. And we're just refilling with the memories of why I like this job so much, okay? Most people in my situation would probably tell me to quit. They'd be like, just find another job. If you need to use witchcraft to make your job better, just quit. And that is not always the case. Sometimes you actually want to fight for something. It's very rare that I would ever fight for a job. Normally I would just be like, fuck this business, I'm out. But in this particular case, in these particular times, okay, in these times, we cannot just be quitting our job all willy-nilly and going and finding another one. It does not work, okay? It does not work. So, when you're done, usually, depending on how much you've used in here, A, your cauldron's gonna be really hot, so don't touch it. B, the other thing is that you may want to wash out your cauldron afterwards. I mean, you've used rubbing alcohol in there. I mean, and the flame is pretty much like sanitized it, right? But you may want to rinse it out or wash it out and you know, whatever process in your craft it is to introduce something as a tool into your craft. So you may want to resage it or rebless it or whatever. If it is made of cast iron and you are washing it out, whether you throw it in the dishwasher or which you shouldn't do, or you are hand washing it, just make sure to reseason it after. If you don't know how to reseason something in cast iron, Google it. And the same process that you apply to pans and cast iron dishes, you can apply to these things, okay? Especially if they are cast iron. Because you don't want them rusting and you don't want them falling apart. I mean, they look crappy after a while because we've been using them, we've been burning incense, we've been doing our witchy things, so they get kind of gunky, and even if you wash them, they just don't look right. But that's why you reseason them. You give them a good soaking, a good reseasoning in the oven, and you got yourselves some beautiful cast iron witchy tools to use again, okay? Remember, take care of your stuff. So what do you do after you've done this? Okay, so you've burned the banishing water and you have put into your mind the opposite of the thing that you were trying to banish. Okay, so if you're trying to banish something negative, you put all the positive stuff in there. So what do you do after? Well, it's up to you to keep repeating that to yourself. Just because you've done a magical spell to banish something, whether it be a thought process, a pattern, a person, whatever, you need to stick to that. Okay, so let's say, for example, you suffer from an issue where you constantly think you're ugly. And you banish that thought, and you put in, I'm pretty, I'm pretty. Well, you can't just get up from the altar and walk away and be like, I'm pretty, I'm pretty. Actually, that's exactly what you would do. You'd get up from the altar, you'd walk away, and you'd be like, I'm pretty, I'm pretty. But you can't do the spell and then get up from the altar and not do the mundane. That's where I was going with this. So if you're trying to do the spell to be like, I need to get rid of these thoughts of being ugly and unattractive, you do the spell, you replace them with I'm pretty, I'm gorgeous, people love me, people think I'm bubbly, whatever the case may be, whatever your positive affirmations are. And then from there, all you have to do is just keep doing that throughout your regular life. Because you're now retraining your subconscious. You're doing it through a magical means, but you're also carrying that over in the mundane. Okay? So I hope that you guys learned something from this, and I hope that this was helpful in some way to some people. I mean, these are times where these types of magics would be grateful, right? We're trapped in our houses. We need to banish our negative thoughts of killing our children because they're driving us up the wall, running around when they should be in school, right? I have 2 furry little children that run around, and they should be in school. Anyways, so I'm going to go, and I'm also going to find a way to wrap all of this up, because we've been doing this for a while now. I don't know what this is. I turned it into a series called Coming Home again, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to go with this, because I'm running out of ideas. It's like, we're here, okay, we're at our altar, we're doing things. I haven't lit the Morrigan's candles, because I haven't reached out to her yet. I mean, she's there. I can feel her. We did tarot the other day. This bitch was honest. Just like, completely. Remember? We did it together. Fraud. Right? So, only the Morrigan, as you guys have seen in yesterday's episode, only the Morrigan will tell you the cold hard truth, and everybody on the internet will tell you you're not a fraud. Only the Morrigan will tell you that you are, and the entire internet will lie to your face. Okay, so I will be back soon, at some point, with another video. Okay? I love all of you.